Good morning, everybody. Happy 4th of July. I don't seem to understand that every time I decide I want to do a video, I'm at work. But fortunately, I'm on some overtime. I'm going to get this overtime coins, so it's okay. I can cook out after 3. But I decided to come on here today to discuss my IVF journey, or should I say my infertility journey, and what led me to embryo adoption. And the funny part is a lot of people don't know or understand what embryo adoption is. So, first let me go back. At 16 years old, I was diagnosed with PCOS. I was told that there was a slim to none chance that I would ever become a parent. Devastating, but at 16, you're not really thinking about, okay, I want to grow up, I want to be a parent. You always want to say, okay, I want to have babies, I want to do this, I want to do that. But the reality of it does not hit you until you're a little older, you're in your relationship, and you're trying to conceive. My first marriage lasted 15 years, and in that 15 years, we tried numerous times. We tried Clomid, we tried injections, we tried everything, and nothing worked. We even went to IVF. We did IVF, a round of IVF. It started in 2001. It ended in 2002. Of course, not with a successful pregnancy. It financially devastated us. We, were pulling money from every resource we had to do this just for an outcome of no child. So fast forward, we're now in 2015. I meet my current spouse, which is a woman. We've been married since May the 20th of 2017. We had decided that we were going to do IVF, but since now I am in my 40s, we were going to do IVF using her eggs because she's still in her 30s, and we figured it would still be biologically one of our babies, and fine, I'll carry, not an issue. But after doing our research and after doing everything that pertains to that, we looked at it financially, and it just wasn't something that we wanted to embark on with trying to buy a home and trying to do other things that married couples want to do. And after the financial devastation that I experienced the first time, are you serious? Oh. After that, I thought you weren't recording. After the financial devastation that I experienced the first time, I figured that it really wasn't going to be an option after all the testing and everything. And of course, insurance does not pay for it. So, I have a good job now. She has an excellent job. We figured, okay, we could swing this. But when embryo adoption came on the table, we were like, well, wow. And here's the thing, a lot of people do not know what embryo adoption is. So, embryo adoption is basically when someone else or a couple decide they want to do IVF. They produce all these eggs, and these eggs make it to day 3, 5 to 7. Okay? So once they make it to that stage, they are an embryo. They are no longer an egg. Once they become that embryo, they're taken through some tests and see which ones are going to be viable. So those people who went through IVF, have their families, they have their babies. And when they, feel that their, say, family is complete, no more children want to be born, and they have all these extra embryos laying around, frozen. These are actually babies. These are babies waiting to be born. And I really feel like maybe one of those babies are mine. Maybe it wasn't meant for us to do it the traditional way. Maybe it wasn't meant for me to do it the traditional way. But I feel like this is a child, just like a child that's in foster care, just like a child that's waiting to be adopted, that's ready for a home. The only difference is I get to experience the pregnancy. I get to experience the bonding. I get to experience childbirth. I get to experience all those things that women want to experience. The only difference is we're not blood related, but does blood really make a relation? I don't think so. I think the love that you have to give, I think the time that you have to give, I think everything that you have to offer that child is what's going to make the difference. So, with that being said, with the embryo adoption process, you go through psychological evaluations, they test you, make sure your uterus is fine. Like basically, if you can do IVF, you can basically do embryo adoption. If you have a uterus, you can carry a baby, everything seems to be okay, embryo adoption. Now let me tell you the kicker about embryo adoption. It's cheaper. It's cheaper than IVF. So basically what you're doing is you're doing the last stages of IVF. So instead of them having to go on all the medications that cost an exuberant amount of money, you're just at the end stages of it. So basically, a little progesterone maybe to get your lining a little more prepared for the egg. Simple treatments. You're not doing all those IVF medications. You're at the end. So basically all they're going to do is they're going to thaw out your baby, place it in your uterus, and hope and pray for 2 weeks that it attaches to you and that you will be that baby's new mommy. So you don't have to go through all the process of the IVF. And the thing that made it more appealing to us is, with us being a same-sex couple, we have clearly would have had to have gotten a sperm donor, going through all that testing, making sure that everything was on the up and up there, paid for that, on top of paying for the IVF, with no real guarantee that a baby will be born. So this just seemed like the economical and the humane way of doing it, because these are babies and they're babies waiting for you. They really are. They're waiting for a family to love them. And yes, they'll have biological brothers and sisters out there somewhere. And maybe one day they might want to look for them. But the program that we're using is an anonymous program. So we wouldn't know if the little boy up the street or the little girl around the corner are their brother and sister. This is an anonymous program. And the thing I like about this program is they match you. So whatever your ethnicity background is, or whatever you choose, if you want an interracial embryo, African American embryo. And that's another thing. A lot of African American couples do not know that this is an option. You spend these outrageous amounts of money for IVF. You're having it on a hope and a prayer. And of course, everybody wants to say, I want a biological child. I look at it as, I just want a child. I want a child to love. I want a child to watch grow. I want a child that when they learn to walk and talk and I come in from work and they run up to me and they grab my legs and they're like, Mommy, 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 you're home. I just want that love. And it doesn't matter if we're biologically related or any of that, because it's all about the love my wife and I have to offer that baby. And I just love the whole thought process of somebody was gracious enough to say, let somebody else have a chance because we had a chance. And let somebody else who maybe cannot afford the IVF process to become parents. And people make it seem like it's such a hard and difficult thing to do. The program that I went through, literally I called, I scheduled a consultation. I went in for the consultation. We discussed all my options, and the embryo adoption option seemed like the best way to go. I am currently going through all my testing that I have to because I am over 40. I have to have my mammogram done. Of course, I have to have my yearly done. You go through IVF 1 and 2 testing. You go through Hep C and B testing. They want to make sure that you don't have, any diseases that could pass through the placenta. Also rubella. If you're Rh positive or negative, of course they want that testing done too. It's very straightforward. I think basically it's the same testing with a little bit more of what you would go through with IVF, but most of this testing is covered by your insurance. So that's what makes it a little more appealing. Your insurance will cover the majority of the testing that is involved for the embryo adoption. So that's what makes it also appealing. It's not so much out of pocket. Now the program that I am going through, my embryo adoption is only $6,600, which is literally half of the cheapest IVF program we saw. Now, IVF can run you anywhere from $12,000 to $20,000 depending on where you want to have the IVF done. I did IVF back in 2002, not 1992, I was still in high school, but back in 2002. And it ran me over $20,000 because, of course, that was 17 years ago, and the technology they had then and the technology they have now are completely different. I feel like if I had went through IVF now at the age I was then, I definitely would have been successful. There's testing they do on the eggs now. There's things they do to make sure that it should be a viable child. The testing now is just so phenomenal, and the things that they can determine from an embryo. So I just feel like, that my success would have been better. However, because Mother Nature is Mother Nature and I'm a little older now, I feel like embryo adoption is going to be wonderful. But here's the best thing about it. The success rates with embryo adoption are higher than your success rates with IVF, which I find completely ironic. But that's because you're going through the adoption process, the embryos are going through a little bit more testing, so they know that they should be a viable baby or embryo. So I think that's amazing. I think that I have a higher chance of becoming a mother, thanks to the gift of somebody else. I cannot praise this anymore, and I can't wait to see where this journey gets me. I can't wait to see what happens. I cannot wait. I am utterly, absolutely excited to find out where this journey takes us. And I hope that you guys want to come on this journey with me, to see this baby, to see the growth, to see everything. I am so ready for this. But here's another thing that I think is amazing. If it doesn't work the first time, I can do it again. I literally could do it 4 times for the same cost of one IVF round, if you include the medications and everything else. So technically, I'm giving myself 4 opportunities to become a mother versus 1. And I just want to thank all the people out there who donate their embryos. Because there's somebody like me out there who this is their only chance to become a mother. This is because financially I couldn't do it the IVF way. I'm not on here acting like I have a whole bunch of money. As you see, I'm at work on 4th of July trying to get my overtime money so I can make my hopes and dreams come true. I'm not flashy, don't have a lot of money, but I live nice. And I know that my child will live well. But with that being said, I just want to thank the people out there, the parents, the people who so graciously went through this process, who were successful and brought home babies, who decided, hey, I have a baby waiting. No, I have a miracle waiting. I have somebody's precious miracle waiting. And I'm going to donate my child to them so they can have a child. So I definitely want to thank everybody out there who's decided to do this, because without you guys, what I'm about to go through would not happen. But I hope you like this. I hope you stay tuned to more videos, to more uploads. There will definitely be more. We are going to walk this journey together. So I hope you like. I hope you subscribe. I hope you ring the bell for new notifications, because we're starting this process now. There will be new notifications. Oh, and I forgot to tell you. Also, it will be, I gotta go. Tell you later. Bye.